Hey, now, welcome. You're listening to the Millionaires Roundtable. I am your host, Lynn Richardson. It's WVON 1690 AM, the talk of Chicago, the voice of the nation, our favorite radio station. And we are creating millionaires one family at a time, one day at a time, $1 at a time, and one dime at a time. And I'm so happy that things are looking up for folks. I want to say congratulations to all of the people who have reached out to me, letting me know that their home-based business strategy is working and that they've got their funding from the EIDL and the Paycheck Protection Program. Congratulations, Virgie. Congratulations, Denise. Congratulations, Katrina, and so many more. So I have to say to you, if you have a home-based business, if you are an independent contractor, a freelance worker, there is hope for you. And let me tell you, people are filing for unemployment and they're getting their EIDL and their paycheck protection because they're three separate things. So the unemployment is with the state. I want you to be really clear about all of the buckets that you have access to. The unemployment is with the state. The EIDL is with the government. It's the Economic Injury Disaster Loan, which has been pretty much here for a very, very long time. I think the last big time it was used for Hurricane Katrina, but this is economic injury. So it certainly applies now. And then the Paycheck Protection Program is also funded by the Small Business Association, and it's available through your bank and other lenders or other third-party institutions like PayPal, Cabbage, Blue Vine. There's a bunch of companies if you have a Square account. So all of you who are out there, you're in business, and I'm happy that you're in business. If you have not started a home-based business, you know I'm going to talk about it. Everybody needs a home-based business. You need a home-based business like you need air. You can't live without air. Try to go too far without a home-based business. See how far you get. Times are different now, and we are in a whole different situation. So I want us to continue to talk about this. I'm going to open up the phone lines today. So if you have a question about your status as a self-employed person, if you want to know, if you need help, I want you to call 312-374-8130, 312-374-8130. If you have questions, people are saying, well, Lynn, should I start filing the money that I get from picking up little side jobs? Absolutely, you should. Yes. And then you should learn the rules of the game and get your money back. So you can report the money, but if you play the game by the rules, then you can also get your money back. So we want to be in the system. This is not just the year of the census where we're being counted as individuals. You want to be counted for your economic power. And if we don't show up right now, it's going to be very difficult to justify why we should be in a position to have anything later. I can't tell you the number of times I have heard people ask me, Lynn, I want to get funded by the Small Business Association. I have a business idea. I want somebody to help me. I need some investors. How can I get a loan from the SBA? Well, right now is your time to get your number in. Right now is the time to be counted, to have your situation made available and in the system so that when something else comes up, then you are already in there and they know that you're a viable entity. And yes, you are a viable entity if you are a sole proprietor, just with your name and your social security number. So I want you to keep that up front and in mind. We've been talking about the stair steps to wealth. The stair steps to wealth, we had to talk about spend less money. And then we talked about get more money. You got to have multiple streams of income. You've got to have side hustles. You've got to have a home-based business. That's just the way it is. I have 17. So I need everybody to, I told you all I was going all the way. So get one, get two, get five. Now you want them to operate together. You don't, in a way that makes sense. You don't want to walk around like my name is Lenny and I got plenty. You remember from Good Times, he was selling cigarette lighters, socks, prescription, painkillers, all kind of stuff right there from that little coat. So you don't want to look like that. You want to have it make sense and you want your brand to be tight. So we're going to talk about that. You're listening to the Millionaires Roundtable. I'm your host, Lynn Richardson. It's WVON 1690. We have to take 1690 AM. We have to take a break for traffic and weather with Samantha Thomas. We'll be right back. WVON.
More of the Millionaires Roundtable coming up on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
finance, there's hope. Learn how to get your kids in order and get your money back all at the same time in Lynn Richardson's game-changing webinar. How to turn your homeschool into a home-based business. Learn how to write off your daily expenses. Give your kids structure. Teach your kids about money and make extra money for yourself. Plus, your kids will get their newest book, My First Job, A Kid's Guide to Money and Entrepreneurship. Reserve your space at www.asklynn.org. That's www.asklynn.org today.
Are you struggling with your finances? Have you tried everything you can think of but just can't seem to get ahead on your own? Well, it's time to get some help. With a financial coach, you can find out what you don't know and learn to make better choices when it comes to your finances. Lynn Richardson's Wealth Vision 2020 Financial Coaching provides step-by-step instructions daily, a one-stop shop to create your budget, access to vetted financial coaches in specialized areas such as mortgages, insurance, real estate, investing, taxes, and more. Lynn Richardson and her team will help you set goals, undo bad habits, push you past your own beliefs, and gain peace with your finances. Go to www.lynnrichardson.com. That's www.lynnrichardson.com or call 888-LYNN-123. That's 888-596-6123 for more info today.
A little check to Monday. A little check to Monday. A little check to Monday. Are you little check to Monday? Lynn Richardson will tell you what you need to do. She is a mortgage guru, no doubt about it. She knows her stuff. Hey, the girl is tough. She's gonna give you the real deal in money, credit, and financial security. Buy your book today, no need to wait. Live a check to Monday. Hey, live a check to Monday.
Hey, now, welcome back. You're listening to the Millionaires Roundtable. I am Lynn Richardson. It's WVON 1690 AM. You can follow me at Lynn Richardson on all social media. You can follow this radio show at Lynn Millionaire. And, of course, you can listen live at WVON or lynnmillionaire.com from anywhere you are in the world. And we are talking about the stair steps to wealth. We will be climbing for a while, okay, because we still got to get it. And for everybody who's out there who's thinking that you're too old and you're upset with yourself about how much time you've wasted and you're not where you want to be financially and you're feeling bad because you should have known this 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, forget all of that. You are born again right now, and you can make up for lost time if you give yourself the proper power, faith, and energy that you need to get to the next level. So we're talking about this next stair step on our pathway, and number one was to spend less money. Number two was to get more money. And on this get more money path, you got to have a home-based business, and they have money out there. So I keep saying it because I don't want you all to call me in 6 months saying, oh, my goodness, I got impacted by the virus and everything went under and, you know, I couldn't pull myself together, and you have all these things. Let me tell you, if it can be told, I'm going to tell it. So I want you to call me at 312-374-8130, 312-374-8130. So I'm going to take some calls, and I'm going to take your questions, and hopefully you're getting through the process of getting your paycheck protection loan approved. But also, you don't want to pay that money back. You have to use it for the right things, and it's very simple. Don't commingle funds. Put the money in a separate account. Use 75% of it to pay salaries, the other 25% to pay rent and utilities, and you're done for your business, okay? So call me. Ronnie, I have you here on the Millionaires Roundtable. You have a question for me? Ronnie, you there?
Disability, medical. I have a kidney transplant and issues with my eyes, and I want to know, can I do a small home-based business myself or no?
So tell me, what was the first part? I didn't hear the first part, dear.
I I get disability for medical. I have a kidney transplant and eye issues as well. And I get about $790 something per month. And I want to know, am I allowed to form a home-based business being under disability or no?
Well, you have to take a look at your specific paperwork, and it will tell you if you have any income limitations. So if you have any income limitations, then you have to abide by those limitations. So I don't believe they say that you can't make any money. They just say that you can't make, an excessive amount or whatever, the amount that exceeds the threshold. So you first want to know that. Do you know what that number is? Does it tell you how much you can earn up to?
No, I don't even know where I would be looking for this info.
Okay, so you're going to have to call the Social Security Administration.
Okay.
That administers. Now, you might be on the phone for a while. When you give them your Social Security number, they'll be able to pull up your whole situation, and you'll say, can I earn any money? If so, what's the maximum that I can earn? Then you're going to ask them to send it to you in writing. Hopefully they can email you your benefits and what your limitations are. And if not, they can mail it to you. But you want to know what your specific situation entails. And then you want to work around that. And sometimes it's not that you can't make any money. It's just that you have to, you can't report as you shouldn't. You can't show a positive, I would say, situation. So let's just say, for example, you made $10,000 in your home-based business. But let's say you had $5,000 in business expenses. Well, then you really only made $5,000. You didn't make $10,000. So you have to know the difference between, can I bring any income at all, or is it my net income, and what is the maximum? Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. It sure does. Yeah.
Okay, so yeah.
Let me ask, can I maybe form like a company and do it under a company name, or no?
Well, if a home-based business, you really want to use your name, your Social Security number. It's a sole proprietorship, especially if you're doing low-risk activity like advising others or something like that. If you're going to do a corporate entity, then I highly recommend that you talk to Attorney Deidre Wood-Stokes to make sure that you've got the proper protection in place, okay? So if you go to lynnmillionaire.com, go to Lynn's list, you'll find Attorney Deidre Wood-Stokes, and she can make sure you set up the proper entity if you're going to do that. But you really can just start with your name, your Social Security number. But make that call to the Social Security Administration, and then let me know how it turns out, okay?
All right. Thank you so much, Lynn. You're wonderful.
You are welcome.
You're
welcome. Thank you.
You and your family. All right.
Oh, thank you. God bless you and stay safe. You're listening to the Millionaires Roundtable. I'm your host, Lynn Richardson. It's 12:30 on the Talk of Chicago. We have to take a break for news, traffic, and weather with Samantha Thomas. We'll be right back. WVON.
More of the Millionaires Roundtable coming up on the Talk of Chicago. 1690 WVON. The Morning Show, weekday mornings at 6 a.m.
Hey, first of all, run that 2 points for Thor. Second of all, man, you got about 9 pages, man. You got us confused with this online voting. You got the Maze page, you got the Maze fan page, you got the Maze WBON page, you got the anti-Madigan page, which is my favorite page. You got the black people who hate Madigan page, is another one of my favorite pages. So which page do we go on to vote?
It's Maze and Todd, weekday mornings at 6 a.m. on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON. More of the Millionaires Roundtable coming up on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
Hi, this is Lynn Richardson. Are you one of the 20 in 2020? That's right. I'm going to take 20 people in the year of 2020 and help you crack the code to make your first $100,000 or your next $100,000. Visit www.lynnrichardson.com. Click Connect with Lynn. That's www.lynnrichardson.com. Are you one of my 20 in 2020?
Parents, there's hope. Learn how to get your kids in order and get your money back all at the same time in Lynn Richardson's game-changing webinar. How to turn your homeschool into a home-based business. Learn how to write off your daily expenses. Give your kids structure. Teach your kids about money and make extra money for yourself. Plus, your kids will get their newest book, My First Job, a kid's guide to money and entrepreneurship. Reserve your space at www.asklynn.org. That's www.asklynn.org today.
A little check to Monday. A little check to Monday. A little check to Monday. Are you little check to Monday? Lynn Richardson will tell you what you need to do. She is a mortgage guru, no doubt about it. She knows her stuff. Hey, the girl is tough. She's gonna give it a real deal in money, credit, and financial security. Buy your book today, no need to wait.
Hey, y'all. Hey. You're listening to the Millionaires Roundtable. I am your host, Lynn Richardson. It's WVON 1690 AM, the talk of Chicago. This is the voice of the nation, and we are creating millionaires one family at a time, one day at a time, $1 at a time, and one dime at a time. And that means you, and it takes a diversified approach to get your money to the next level. So we're talking about the stair steps. We're going to be on these stair steps for a while because guess what? Nobody's going anywhere anyway. I want everybody to sit at home and relax because I don't know what's happening out there. We don't know who's passing out what, who's going to get it. So while we're home still listening and marinating, we are going to get our money straight. So call me at 312-374-8130, 312-374-8130. Because I'm going to answer questions. Shakira, you are on the Millionaires Roundtable. You have a question for me?
Hi, Lynn. How are you?
Excellent.
Good. I want to know if I can get you on my podcast.
I don't know.
The name of the podcast is Love and Money, and I interview millionaires and people who are interested in love.
Okay. Yeah, you'll have to reach out to my office because I do not manage myself.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't manage myself. I wish I could tell you. I could tell you what I could do for me, but I can't.
Okay, so go to the website.
Absolutely. Go to lynnrichardson.com or go to asklynn.org and submit a request.
Okay, I'm Shakira. Keep me in mind.
Okay, all right now. I hope you got a home-based business with that podcast. You're listening to the Millionaires Roundtable, and we are talking about it all. So we're on the stair steps to wealth. We're on number we're on number 3, but we're talking about how to get more money. So you got to spend less money. You have to get more money, and then you have to get your money back. And that's the piece that everybody's missing. And there are 475 tax deductions that you need to know about because when you eat, if you just eat the meal, you don't get the money back. But if you eat the meal for business, you do. If you're just driving your car, you don't get your money back. But if you're driving your car while conducting business or on the way to conduct business or on the way back from conducting business, you get your money back. If you have children, if you pay for them to do all of the things that they do, like ballet and football and tap dancing and school and life, well, if you pay for those things, you don't get your money back. However, if you have a home-based business, you do, and you have the 475 tax deductions. So you want to get off the sidelines, you want to get in the game, and you want to learn all that you need to know to get to the next level. So let's talk about when you have more businesses. Let's talk about how do you get them out there. You've got to, first of all, have a professional appearance. So a home-based business doesn't have to be a janky business. You know, we've talked about that. You can have things lined up. You can have things in order. You can have a proper URL. That's a website. You can have a proper email address that matches your website. You can have a proper business phone number. You don't even need a phone, okay? You can have a phone number with no phone. They've got phone numbers over the computer. I can call people from my computer. I can go pull up Google Voice, and I can open my account, and I can dial on the screen, and I can talk to people right from the screen. There's no phone involved anywhere, okay? So you don't have to have a janky business. So if you want to brand and get your business out there, make it look like a business people would want to come to, and make it look like a business that you would want to go to. Because, you know, it's interesting how we're the most critical people to everything, but then when it comes to ourselves, we want, you know, to kind of have concessions made. But no, line your business up, get it out there, and then I tell everybody, make sure you get all social media. and get somebody to work it. You know, back in the day, companies needed receptionists. Now you need a social media manager. Think of a social media manager as your virtual receptionist. That person is going to present you in the best way possible to people who are looking for you, and also find people who are looking for what it is that you have, and put your business in front of them. So a social media manager is important to a business. A social media manager is important for growth. A social media manager is important for maintaining connections and finding the right kinds of partnerships, like the young lady who just called wanting me to be on her podcast. But now, you know, I can't say yes here on the radio. I can't, come on now. I'm not even doing that right now. But there are people who work for me who manage all of that stuff. So I want you to get more money, but also want your business looking right while you are applying for your EIDL and your Paycheck Protection Program. So we listen to the Millionaires Roundtable. I'm your host, Lynn Richardson. It's WVON. We have to take a break for traffic and weather with Samantha Thomas. We'll be right back. WVON.
More of the Millionaires Roundtable coming up on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
Hi, this is Lynn Richardson. Are you one of the 20 in 2020? That's right. I'm going to take 20 people in the year of 2020 and help you crack the code to make your first $100,000 or your next $100,000. Visit www.lynnrichardson.com. Click Connect with Lynn. That's www.lynnrichardson.com. Are you one of my 20 in 2020?
Parents, there's hope. Learn how to get your kids in order and get your money back all at the same time in Lynn Richardson's game-changing webinar, How to Turn Your Homeschool into a Home-Based Business. Learn how to write off your daily expenses. Give your kids structure. Teach your kids about money and make extra money for yourself. Plus, your kids will get their newest book, My First Job, A Kid's Guide to Money and Entrepreneurship. Reserve your space at www.asklynn.org. That's www.asklynn.org today.
Hey, now, welcome back. You're listening to the Millionaires Roundtable. I am your host, Lynn Richardson. It's WVON 1690 AM, the Talk of Chicago. And yes, it's the voice of the nation, my favorite radio station. We are creating millionaires one family at a time, one day at a time, $1 at a time, and one dime at a time. So there's more money out there available for Facebook. From Facebook, there's a grant that they're providing to about 30,000 businesses across the world if you've been impacted by the coronavirus. So you want to check that out at facebook.com. If you want more information, go to asklynn.org, and I'll have some information where you can go directly and apply. And so you have to be a small business. You have to have been in business for over a year, and you have to be near one of their locations. So if you are in Los Angeles, Chicago, some other big cities, then you are on your way to get to the next level. So there are some things that we need to know. The risk of exposure to COVID-19 in Georgia has increased by more than 40% since the state reopened for business. Numbers do not lie. It's real, and it's happening. And you want to be careful out here, okay? You want to be careful, and you don't want to. Where is everybody trying to go, first of all? And if you go somewhere, you know you're about to spend some money. So can't you stay home? I don't understand what it is. Why everybody's ready to just go run out here and run around breaking rules and being back out here. So it's a good thing to stay home. It's a good thing to hit the reset button. It's a good thing to keep your master plan going. You don't have a master plan yet. If you've only been home for 6 weeks, I promise you don't have a master plan. Because let me tell you, I'm like Speedy Gonzalez. I'm like the road runner. Everything I do is fast, and I don't have a master plan yet. I'm working on it, and it has come together unbelievably, bigger than we expected. But I still have work to do, and you still have work to do. So sit tight. As T.I. said during our live, he said the black delegation has not told you to go anywhere yet. And that's everybody. The black delegation is over everybody, okay? We haven't told you to go anywhere yet, so stay at home. That's what I think. And this big house party that took place in Chicago is supposed to be a big deal, too. So everybody have some sense, okay? Let's start to think about the real things that matter and trying to build wealth, trying to live below your means, standing upright, having power, controlling your money, not letting it control you, living right, loving God, loving other people, doing the right thing. Let's just focus on that for right now, okay? So you spend less money, you get more money, and then you get your money back. And getting your money back is an all-day, everyday, lifetime process, okay? It's not something that you think about one time. It's something that you think about all the time. And every time you spend $1, you say, can I get it back? The answer is yes if you use it for business and document it properly. The answer is no if you don't. So it becomes just as simple as that. Now, we also just heard during the break that, and I expected this, as a matter of fact, I said this first, that creditors are going to start tightening up on credit guidelines. So do not pay down your credit cards more than you have to if you are expecting to keep those credit lines and have access to them in the case of emergency. So let's say, for example, you have a $10,000 credit card or a credit line, and you have some extra money. So you're just going to pay it down to $5,000 because you know you can use it if you need it. If you pay it down to $5,000, they're going to reduce your credit limit to $5,000. That's what's happening. It happened during the last 2 recessions, and it's going to start happening now. So there was a season where you can go out and get new credit. It is coming to a close quickly, which is a good thing because cash flow is about to get tight, really, really, really tight. You know, it started out tight. People are getting some stimulus money. Companies are delaying, deferring, and suspending payments. But things are going to get back to where they were before. People are going to be unemployed just because, not because of the virus, but because you're no longer employed. Because the world will decide when it wants to, whether it needs you or not. And so if you want to hedge yourself against that, you need to have other streams of income coming in. And now is a great time to start to build that for yourself. So you want to get more money. You want to get your money back. And you want that to be the thing that you're thinking about all the time. Let's talk about getting more money a little bit through investing. Now, my girl, Jackie Campbell, came on to our masterclass this month, and she blew us away. So I'm just going to give you some really small tips, okay? Just a couple of things. Nothing big, nothing you can go and, call it a major strategy, but definitely some simple things to follow as you build out your investment portfolio and before you go in and speak to your investment advisor. Most of the financial experts are not recommending that you just go buy single stocks, no matter what people are telling you. Now, if you've got some really sophisticated things happening and you've got 2 or 3 years, 3 years really in an emergency fund, you've got access to dollars, and then you want to take a risk, then okay, that's fine. But in terms of a strategy to grow money over time, you want to take a certain amount and you want to invest it regularly over time. Okay, because when you do that, time shows. Don't look at it. Don't think about it. Don't worry about if it went up or if it went down. Make sure you sit with an investment advisor so you get to know your investment DNA. Okay, what does your investment DNA include? It includes an assessment of your goals, your timeline, and your risk tolerance, okay? Your goals. What do you want to do? Do you want enough money to live forever? Do you want enough money to pass on to another generation? Do you just need enough money to retire? What age are you going to retire? That's where your time frame comes in. What are we talking about? You're looking for an investment strategy over a year, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. And then what's your risk tolerance? Are you extremely aggressive and you don't mind taking a risk, or are you, scaredy cat like me? I'm a scaredy cat. I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. Okay. If I go to Vegas and put $1 in the slot machine and win 5, I'm done. Because now I can go buy me a hot dog or something, or order of wings or something like that. So I don't need, those kind of returns like that. But you have to know what works for you. Okay? So you're listening to the Millionaires Roundtable. I am your host, Lynn Richardson. We're going to talk more about getting more money, get a home-based business. Go to asklynn.org. You can follow me at Lynn Richardson on social media. You can also follow me at Lynn Millionaire, this radio show at Lynn Millionaire. And I got a bunch of lives today. I'm going to talk to Roland Martin. Got a bunch of great lives coming up with Trina Braxton, Roland Martin. You name it. We're out there educating people. I love you, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye.